go a little bit wider and just stay in the inner thigh stretch. You can just gently move in and out of it. Make sure that feels good. So you're not bouncing, you just stretch and release, stretch, release, stretch, stretch. So a moving stretch is always far superior to a static stretch, but obviously you've got to use a bit more control. So it's not a bouncing stretch, it's just a dynamic moving stretch. So we did 6. So come to the other side, just get used to it first of all. This hip might feel completely different. And then just release and then stretch. You release and then you stretch. So my thumb and my finger align the inner thigh, stretching. And then relaxing and stretching. The door's open today, it's nice and cool. So I think this is 5, this one is 6. Come back into center. Have the feet just a little bit wider than hip space. Soften the knees, and you're going to take your left hand over, side bend, and come back. Up and over. So you're trying to feel the connection through the side of your body. You'll also feel the muscles at the back of your rib cage, the back of your pelvis, in your lumbar spine area, just getting a nice stretch as you come into that lateral flexion. It's just nice to move in and out of it. Again. Okay, so this one, we're going to come, keep the knees bent, come over, support your hand on your hip. And we're going to do a little tiny in and out bend again. So again, the waist muscles are stretching, releasing, stretching. There's no bounce in this, there's no jarring, there's no movement in the spine. Just think of like a rubber band that stretches and then slightly relaxes and then stretches. You've got your hand on your hip for support. Really good for toning the waist. And if you stay in it like we are, you actually feel it a lot more. Just how powerful this is. I'm going to do about 20, so I'll make this about 11 and 12. So long enough to know that we're working. 13. Pull the belly to the back of the spine. 14. 15. You might feel your waist a little bit tomorrow. 16, but in a good way. 17, keep tightening your abs. 18, if it gets too much, you just stop and have a rest. 19, last one, 20, so you're really aware of that lateral line now, and then gently come back into center. So the only way, we could just do some hip circles, the only way to make that feel right again is to do the other side. So we're going to soften the knees, left hand on the hip, so we're just going to do a few, just to prepare. We did 10 on the other side, just to wake up the waist, stretch those lumbar spine muscles, your rectus spinae, your psoas, in that lateral side flexion. It's really nice to stretch your back in this way, as long as you've got this hand here for support, so your back's not carrying the whole of the load. About 8, 9. So we're going to do those 20 little tiny stretch and release, stretch and release. So these side muscles stretching, releasing, stretching. Make sure there's no jarring in the spine. There's no bouncing. So you think of the rubber band that goes all the way down the side of the body, and you're just stretching the rubber band, then relaxing it slightly, stretching. About 7, 8. So 20 is quite a lot to do. 9, because you're sort of ready to finish by 10. So you're going to find those extra 10. So pull the belly into the back of the spine. 11. And 12. I'm putting my hand back for support. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. Deepen the belly as you get tired or have a rest. 18. 19. Last one. 20. And come back into center. So just do some big hip circles and just relax. Go the other way. So the chop, the final one, you're going to take the feet really wide and you're going to take your hands out to the side. You're going to chop your right hand to your left knee, and then you're going to stretch back and pull the belly button to the back of the spine. So you're chopping, it's a rotational movement, stretch and look behind. Chop to the knee, and maybe you're adding a bounce. 1, 2, 3. Chop. 1, 2, 3. Chopping, this is 4. 1, 2, 3. Last one, 5. Chop. 1, 2, 3. Now go a bit higher. Chopping and go really high. 1, 2, 3. Chop. 1, 2, 3. Chop. 1, 2, 3. So we're back into that waist again. 4. Last time. So we do 10 total. 1, 2, 3. Come back into center. So take the hands out to the side. So now left hand chops to right knee, and you're moving out level with your waist, belly button to spine. 1, 2, 3. Chopping. 1, 2, 3. Chop. So you can feel your spiral line in this one. 1, 2, 3. Fourth one. 1, 2, 3. Fifth one. 1, 2, 3. Now chop to the knee, but now go high. Look at the hand of the neck. So play with that. So again, chopping. If your neck doesn't like looking behind, maybe you're just looking slightly to the side. Chopping. 1, 2, 3. Imprint the belly button to the back of the spine. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Come back into center. Bring the feet to hip space. Bring your fingers to your breastbone. And you're going to open the hands and lift the heart. Fingers to breastbone, so you're rounding, and then you're lifting through the chest. So you breathe in as you come in, breathe out as you lift up. Breathing in, stretch your upper back, breathe out, stretch your chest. One more, breathing in, breathing out. With the feet at hip space, do a squat and a circle with your left arm. Do a squat, circle with your right arm. And again, so just nice big shoulder circle. Just warming up those shoulders. And again, want to feel a little bit of chest stretch, shoulders, upper back. So if it's uncomfortable, take the upper arm a little bit further out from the ear. Last time, this arm, left arm. Last time, right arm, lovely. Just do a few shoulder rolls. So we're going to come to the end of the mat. I'm just going to tip my camera so we can see the mat. Helicopter landing. So you're going to be on the toes. You're going to come down. You're going to take your hands in front of you. You're going to lift your heels, deepen your abs, and see if you could come down and see if you can land softly. So it's called a helicopter landing. While we're here, just sitting into our toes, which is not the most comfortable thing. I'm going to turn to face front. So you're sitting with your toes tucked under. If that gets unbearable, just point your toes down. You're going to take the hands out to the side. We're just going to start with wrist circles. So it's surprising as you do these circles, how tight the fascia in the forearms and the hands can be. You're also very aware of your toes. Now go the other way. Okay, so now take the fingers out and do a wrist circle with the fingers. So all of this is to distract you from sitting on your toes. Go the other way. Really giving those feet a strong stretch. Make a fist. Small shoulder circles. And the circle's in the shoulder. It's not in the wrists anymore. And then go the other way. Coming down, and now we can come off those toes. So it feels really nice just to point the toes and just sitting into the heels for a minute. Now it's up to you. You might find that is uncomfortable, and you might be a little bit more like this. But if you can sit into the feet, that's good. If you could take your hands behind you Even better, elbows soft, so you don't want to feel this in your neck and your shoulders, and just look to the right, look forward, look to the left. So if you can't sit into the feet, that's fine. Just do your version of this and make sure you're comfortable in the knees. Come back into center and come back up. So we're coming into 4-point kneeling. Hands on the shoulders, knees on the hips. And we're going to focus on the elbows. So what you're going to do is you've got your hands directly under your shoulders, your knees directly under your hips. Just see if you could rotate your elbows backwards towards your thighs. And then relax, and then see if you could rotate your elbows forwards. It's a small movement, but what you're doing is you're moving the head of the humerus, the arm bone, in the shoulder. So just do it gently. Turn the elbows towards the thighs. Just feel that nice stretch in your shoulders. So Lauren, be careful with your shoulder injury. Come back into relax. Turn the elbows forward. So find your range in both directions and just do a few more. Rotate elbows to the back. Rotate the elbows to the front. I can feel there's a difference between my right hand and my left hand. So a little bit stiffer in my left side. It could be old injuries, could be just shoulder tightness. Okay, it's a nice one for the shoulders. So now, keeping the arms exactly as they are, just keep your pelvis where it is and just drop your breastbone towards the floor and feel your shoulder blades squeeze together. And then come back into your middle position and then lift up at your breastbone and feel the shoulder blades drop down around the sides of your rib cage. So again, we're mobilizing the shoulder blades now. Come back into the middle. You drop your breastbone and you feel the squeeze of your shoulder blades. Come back into the middle position and you're going to lift your breastbone. Try not to involve the pelvis. Get a lovely stretch and some very tight muscles in your rotator cuff. Come back into the middle position. So one more time, breastbone drops and you squeeze the shoulder blades. Come back into the middle position and then you're lifting your breastbone and you're stretching subscapularis and a whole load of muscles in and around the shoulder blades. Come back into your middle position. Sorry, this is windy and it's blowing around. So we're going to just take your right leg out, if you're okay to still keep those wrists in this position. Just see if you could lift and lower the right leg. And imagine you've got a glass of water on the pelvis, on the sacrum, and you're not going to spill that glass of water. So it's not about a high leg, it's about a level pelvis. So this one's going to make your powerhouse work really strongly. Maintaining neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Really good one for strengthening. So bring the knee back in. You could sit for a moment. I think we need to give our wrists a little bit of a stretch. That's why we did those wrist circles before, just to prep them a little bit. You could open out the fingers as we did before. Open and close. So when you're ready, put the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, sliding out your left leg, keeping your pelvis completely level. So I could see as I did that, my pelvis shifted. So that means I need to tighten my abs up more, to slide the leg out so the pelvis stays nice and steady, and then lift and lower. And I can feel immediately that I can't go as high with this leg and it's a lot more effort. So this is my weaker side. So work only to the level where your pelvis is in neutral, your spine is in neutral. So if it's a smaller leg move, that's fine. Just focus on your abs. You're pulling up through the pelvic floor. Pull the belly button to the back of the rib cage. You're strengthening up all those weak muscles that need the attention. One more. Bring the knees together, elbows to the floor. Do your wrist circles, do your open and close, do your open out the fingers and just do that bigger move.